Okay. I want to welcome everybody to the November 13th, 2018 regular meeting of the City of Coolidge City Council. We don't have an invocation tonight, so please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Norma, would you call the roll, please?
Yes, Mayor. Councilmember Jimmy Walker?
Here.
Councilmember Steve Hudson?
Here.
Councilmember Robert Huddleston?
Here.
Mayor John Thompson?
Here.
Vice Mayor Jackie Henry?
Here.
Councilmember Joseph Marsh?
Here.
And Councilmember Tatiana Murrieta? Here. Thank you. We have a quorum, Mayor.
Thank you, Norma. Moving to item 4, and under presentations, it's a monthly report and business spotlight recognitions by the Coolidge Chamber of Commerce. Lynn?
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Council. We just had our annual banquet, and it was a great success. And just to name a few of the sponsors, the top 3 was Arizona Public Service, Coolidge Engine and Pump, and Pinal Federal Credit Union. Without the sponsorship of the businesses, we couldn't make it such a successful event. And the food was to die for. It was just pretty awesome. The whole night was great. Chamber reinvestments for September, Hospice of the Valley, Arizona at Work, Agronomy Innovations, the Arizona Jackpot, Hospice Compass, Spirit of Joy Methodist Church, Pinal Federal Credit Union, Western Investments, Codazona, Mayor Thompson, Casa Palomino, Desert Rose Baja Institute. And our websites hits for September are 163,073, walk-ins at 546, which that's up about 13%, which is really nice. Phone calls are at 242. Top states that visit us was Colorado and South Carolina. Top foreign country is Canada. The Casa Grande Ruins visits for the month of September was 2,651. Year-to-date brings them to 53,033. It's down about 4.4%. For the year, it's about 1,351. So I think you guys are working on analyzing that. Some events coming up. Just to tell you, we're not having our November luncheon like we normally do. It's so close to the holidays. The turnout's pretty low, so we felt it was better just to spend our time a little more productively. November 15th, the Cabot Clinic. They have a PA that comes in there. It's a free visit there. Our Water Past and Present with the Pinal County Museum. A Frank Talk at the library, and if anybody's been to a Frank Talk, they're really great. And also a writing workshop. On November 16th and 17th, they're having a book sale, and also on the 17th, the Youth Council is having their cornhole tournament. And on November 27th, Cabot's having another clinic. Do you have any questions?
Any questions? No? Nope.
All right, thank you.
Well, thank you very much. Under presentations, item number 5, presentation on the 2018 final ISO report. Is that the fire chief? Yep. There he is. Good evening, Chief.
Good evening. It's all right.
Way to go, Gilbert.
Come on, Gil.
You set him up for failure, didn't you?
Should have dived.
Mayor Thompson, Vice Mayor Henry, City Council members. This is the presentation of the final ISO review that was conducted and finalized in December of 2017. We got our results a little bit later than I would expected, but we got them in August. And these results actually will go in effect January of 2019. And this ISO review will be good for the next 4 to 5 years. That's when the ISO comes in and usually does reviews. This is the three major areas of collection and analysis. And before you have a report. This is their final report. This is conducted by a representative out of Tucson, and it goes to the national level in New Jersey, and at a national level, and they have national reviewers that look over all the information for us, and this is how we get to our final grading period. But they look at these areas. Our emergency communications is 10% of the grade. The fire department is 50% of the grade, and our water supply is 40% of the grade. These are the three major areas that they look at. Just so you'll know, this is the public protection classification. If obviously right now we're sitting at a 4, we were a 5. So obviously the lower number, the better your insurance rating is. This is the distribution of nationwide classifications. As you can see, we were in Class 5, which is the majority of the fire departments around the nation. As we get better, we start getting into a little bit more of an elite class. So right now we're sitting at a 4, which is, we join the group of about 7,000 other fire departments across the nation. And this is the communications review. A lot of this is, I'll just blaze through this because I know you have this in your report, and you can take a little bit longer time, because believe me, it took me about an hour to actually read through the report and understand all the information. But it's really, this is some areas that we did really good at and some areas that we need to improve on. And that's the purpose of this ISO review, is to let you know if you're headed in the right direction and what you actually need to improve on. Okay, so where we improved, obviously in our communications, we've done some CAD system upgrades. We're going to be adding the New World, Fire Mobile, and the police side of it as well, so that counts towards our communications grade. The fire department, we added some apparatus. We added some reserve personnel, and we replaced our entire fleet of self-contained breathing apparatuses. So we upped our equipment. The water supply, this is really based off of Arizona Water's field operations policies and procedures. We have very little control over this section, but as the fire department, we work very closely with Arizona Water on replacements, inspections, flow testing, and stuff like that of the water system. Here's some area where we need to improve. Communications. It shows that we needed to add some dispatchers due to the future additions of the workloads that we're going to be increasing them. Right now we have one dispatcher that handles PD and fire department calls. As we bring this new system up, we'll probably need to increase our dispatchers, and that way it will also increase our score for the next review. The fire department, we need to obviously increase our number of full-time firefighters. When you go through the report, you'll notice that although we did very well, we increased, or we lowered our rating, there were some areas where we could really make up a lot of room. We need to transition to the 24/7 schedule, redistribute our apparatus and station locations. One of their areas of concern was that the city was expanding so much, new industry coming in, building, and so on and so forth, all the future plans that we have here, and we need to redistribute our resources in order to better serve that area. And provide more comprehensive training at all rank levels, and this is what's going to be implemented at the department level. And the water supply, like I said before, the city has minimal control over Arizona Water operations, so our main goal is to just foster the relationship that we do have, so when we do have needs, we can communicate them better and we can get better service from them. So in summary, Coolidge has a final score of 68.17 out of a total 105.5 points. I'll just let you know that we were about 1.83 points away from obtaining a Class 3 rating. So we are at the very, very high end of the Class 4, which is very good, because we were at the upper end of Class 5. We were poised to move into the Class 4, but it kind of surprised me that we moved as far as we did. If we had, made a few other changes in the past and stuff like that, we would have jumped probably from a 5 to a 3. Just so let you know that how this relates to areas around us, Florence currently is a 3, Casa Grande's a 3, Eloy's a 4, Maricopa's a 2, and Arizona City is a 3. So we're kind of right in line with the region right now.
Chief, Eloy has that fire district. Do they have full-time guys that are there 24/7?
They do.
And they're still just the same as us now?
They're still just a 4.
Thank you.
Yeah, and they may be just a 4 just because they haven't been reviewed. The ISO used to be on a 10 to 15 year review period, and they've recently switched to a 4 to 5 years. So they may not be up for a review, but when they do get reviewed, they actually may move to a 3. Like I said, this puts the city at the very high end of the Class 4 rating. We are really poised. I have no doubt that when the next review period comes around, we'll move to a Class 3. We've made significant communications improvements. Our apparatus capabilities, where we need to shore up a little bit, is adding some additional personnel, some additional stations, and expand our services. As of right now, because of this review, the city itself has already realized over a $3,000 savings on our insurance costs because of this new rating. And this doesn't apply just to the city. It applies to every business and every individual within the city limits. They take advantage of this ISO rating. So come January, we encourage all businesses, industry, and individuals to revisit their insurance company and their insurance agent, and to let them know what the new rating is here in Coolidge, so therefore they can realize the same savings that the city has. Other than that, that's all I have. If you have any questions.
No, I'd just like to thank you, Chief. I've been on the council 10 years. I haven't seen anybody do this before, unless I might have been absent or something. And it's good to see it because it does save not only the citizens, but the city of Coolidge money. And I want to thank you for that.
It does. Thank you.
On the, I think it was the second slide, water supply was, I think, number 3 out of the 3
Yes.
arms. It's like 20 points off of 50, what it could be.
Yes.
A 30 and a 50. And you said that the state is the one, there's not a lot we can do.
Correct.
Do they give you any kind of, I mean, that's a big gap. And if
That is a big, it's a big percentage. And usually a lot of municipalities, what they try to account for is a lot of municipalities run their water systems. Obviously, we do not, and we rely on Arizona Water to do that. Arizona Water does a fantastic job, and actually a lot of areas where we can see improvement is just because it was difficult to get records from them, because they are a private company. And they're not controlled by us. It's difficult to get the records needed to send in for the review. I did get some, but the score probably could have been better if those records had been available.
Do they, okay, do they give you any kind of suggestions? I mean, do they work with you pretty well?
Arizona Water does work with us very well, actually. We don't have any problems when we have a hydrant out of service or a system out of service, any kind of repairs. We'll call them up, and it's usually done very quickly. Where we had problems getting information from them is on their flow testing and all their records, because they wanted the ISO wanted records for the past 5 years, which is very difficult to get a hold of, even for us, even for a city department. It took us a while to get those information together. So.
Tatiana?
With the 2 needs on there,
Mm-hmm.
if we were able to fulfill those, would that help the score?
Oh, that would actually help our score dramatically. More than likely, those where we fell short is in the fire department section, in the response capabilities, and the manpower capabilities. And you can see that in your report. It has a certain number of points that are available to get, and then it's how many we earned. And you can see that there was a big gap in there. That's the way our department is right now. We take care of the citizens of Coolidge, I think, at a very high level. But if we were to expand that manpower and those services, there would be no question about us moving to a 3 and possibly poising ourselves towards a 2.
Thank you, and
Yep.
thank you for what you've done for us.
Thank you.
You said, how often is the review? I heard you say 15 years used to be, but what is it about now?
It used to be 10 to 15 years, but now it's every 4 to 5 years because the way municipalities change and grow, 10 to 15 years is too long of a time period. We're a completely different city and department from 10 or 15 years ago, but it is every 4 to 5 years. But if we make changes, if we make measurable changes within that 4 to 5 year period, we can request a new review and get a review sooner than 4 to 5 years. So if we made all the necessary changes in the next couple years, we can call and request for a review, and then we can get moved sooner than 4 to 5 years.
Great. Thanks, Chief. Appreciate
You bet.
I just want to say thank you for the presentation and thank you for what you do.
You're welcome.
Anybody else?
Oh, it was Kurt. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Okay, we'll move into the call to the public. This is part of the meeting where if you want to address the council, please step to the podium, give us your name and your address, and you have 3 minutes to tell us what's on your mind. Unless it's on the agenda, we can't take any action on it, but we can sure listen to you.
Mayor, we do have one speaker, one individual who's requested to address the council. Mr. Ernie Mitchell, if you'd like to go up to the podium, please.
I guess first off,
Mr. Mitchell,
yes,
we know you're Ernie Mitchell, but could you give us your address, please?
you bet. Ernie Mitchell, and I'm actually from Des Moines, Iowa. Here.
Well, we appreciate you coming out.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys more than you know. I guess first off, I'd like to start thanking the people of Coolidge for their support and help since I've been here, and also the people of Arizona. It's much appreciated. And, and I guess what I want to talk about is kind of what brought me here. In 2012, my sister, Janet Andriano, she was found dead in her home in Des Moines, Iowa by my parents. And it was a former police officer's home. And after that, I guess my family started having trouble with vandalism and all kinds of stuff. And most of what I found out about this was from private investigators that I've hired to check on it. But actually what it is, I think there was an investigation into her estate is what it was. They wanted the house, I think is what it was. But through that, what I learned is it's actually a terrorist targeting program they can put on you for kind of a parallel investigation. So they'll have a legitimate investigation and then have this terrorist targeting program investigation along with it where they can basically do anything to you. And I'll tell you what, it's a living hell. I mean, I've had my career ruined. I've had my family ran away. This is in Des Moines, and finance is gone. Just about everything wiped out. But yeah, it's something that shouldn't be done to anybody, you know. And I don't know how they're getting away with it, to tell you the truth, but it's, yeah, I don't know. It's something that kind of needs to be dealt with. And I came here because of the constitutional law enforcement. And it's not the cops on the street or anything like that. They're against it too. They don't want it either because it's against them also. But so I guess that's all I had. I just wanted to kind of put that out there. So I don't know what else to say. I didn't write anything down. So
Well, we're sorry for your loss. Thank you for coming out and telling us about it. Well, thank you. Is there anybody else that wants to address the council? Okay. Not seeing anybody approach. We'll move out of call to the public. And we'll move into approval of minutes, discussion and action for item 6, the city council regular meeting of October 8th, 2018. And item 7, the city council regular meeting, October 22nd, 2018. Are there any corrections or anything that the council has to say about this? If not, I'll need a motion.
Second.
Oh, there's a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. There's business items for consent. Items 8 through 12. Does anybody want any of these items pulled from the agenda? I guess not. Okay, then I'm going to read them. Item 8. Consider approval of a request from the New Hope Community Church to close Main Street between Elm and Seago Avenue for a community day and health fair event being held on Saturday, November 17th, 2018, from 8 a.m. until 1 p.m., and that's this coming Saturday. Item 9, consider approval of entering into a direct contract between the Arizona Department of Economic Security, the Division of Developmental Disabilities, and the City of Coolidge for the purpose of providing emergency response and services for the Arizona Training Program Center through June 30th, 2019. Item 10, consider approval of adopting the updated drug and alcohol policy as required by the Federal Transit Administration for transit funding. Item 11, consider approval of entering into a professional services agreement between the City of Coolidge and Kemley Horn for the purpose of providing airport engineering, design, and construction management services for the Coolidge Municipal Airport. And item 12, consider approval of accepting the scope of services for an amount not to exceed $15,888 and the authorization for services task order number 9 with Kimberly Horn to prepare and process a categorical exclusion request to the FAA for the runway 523 rehab reconstruction, lighting, PAPI, and RIEL. Okay, so consent agenda, so I'll need a motion to do something.
Mayor, it's no further discussion. I make a motion we approve the consent agenda items 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 as read.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Business under regular items. Item 13. Consider an award of bid to Garrett Motors in the amount not to exceed $45,000 for the Pinal County Road Tax Fund to purchase a 2019 Chevy Silverado chassis and dump bed for the Streets Department, utilizing $15,000 from the approved FY 18-19 Pinal County Road Tax Fund, and authorize approval to utilize carryover funds from the Pinal County Road Tax Fund reserves for the balance of the purchase price, and waiving the sealed bid requirements in the best interest of the city.
Mayor,
Yes, sir.
before we vote on this item, even though there's not a conflict of interest, I'd love to abstain from voting on this item.
Okay, thank you, Norma. You note that for the record. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor and members of the council. Normally, Matt Rensher, the Public Works Director, would be bringing this before you. He is out tonight, so he asked me to bring this before you guys for consideration. This item was budgeted this year. The cost did come a little bit over. That's why he's asking to use carryover funds. If you notice, road tax funds are reserved for purposes for streets, repairs, maintenance, and equipment for use on the streets and the roads. So this money couldn't be used for anything else. It's restricted for use on those items, and any monies that's not used in prior years can be carried over for use in subsequent years. So he's asking to use some of the carryover from prior years to purchase this dump truck. They did go out and look for some dump trucks in and around the area. They didn't receive any bids that were suitable to what they thought they were going to be able to purchase the dump truck for. So this was the cheapest one that they found that met their specifications, and so that's why they're asking to go ahead and buy this. It's also an in-town purchase that keeps the local sales tax in Pinal County and in the city of Coolidge. So if you have any questions, I'd do my best to answer them.
Gabe, as I look through the backup material, it seems to me that dump truck was at least 30 years old, and we got it secondhand.
Yes, sir.
When we state surplus.
Very, very, very old equipment in the Public Works and Streets departments.
So we've certainly got our use out of it.
Yeah.
And some of our vehicles are in pretty bad shape, and I think we need to maybe look at trying to implement some kind of a program where we can replace some of these, because we've gotten our money's worth. Although didn't it say that they spent about $9,000 or something on it recently?
I think trying to repair it. Our vehicle maintenance department's been very creative in keeping these things going. So
But they're not working on any garbage trucks.
that's true.
But anyway, anybody have any questions for?
I'm glad to see it stay local, and that it was also the cheapest bid.
Yeah.
Okay. I am too. That money recycles through this community.
Yeah, and it's good, and it's about time. I mean, especially with all the road work that we've been doing, people can look around and see there's been a lot of road work that our crews have been taking on, and especially with the annexations in and around town, we've been doing a lot of work, and our guys have been out hustling out and about town. So I mean, these trucks are getting more and more hours on them. So.
Well, you couldn't get many more hours on this one, I don't think.
I agree.
All right, I need a motion.
So moved.
Second?
Okay, the motion is second to approve item number 13 as stated in the agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much. Item 14, consider approval of the infrastructure and services plan for the PLH Steel annexation. Mr. Lopez?
Mayor Thompson, Vice Mayor Henry, council members. This is in regards to the steel annexation. We've had public hearings here for that item, April 23rd of 2018. And in order for the city council to annex the property into the city limits as required by a development agreement with St. Holdings or Pinal Land Holdings, we have to present and provide an infrastructure services plan on how the city intends to deal with the property as far as services are concerned. And this property is predominantly agricultural, so we don't anticipate there are very few services that we'll be providing out there, but in the future there'll be some more activity that will provide some revenue to the city. So we're recommending that the Mayor and Council approve the Pinal Land Holdings Steel Annexation Infrastructure Services Plan. And then after this, if you so choose and approve this, we'll have the actual ordinance for the annexation. And I'll answer any questions you may have.
Mr. Lopez, isn't this the one that had 0 calls for service from the police?
As far as I'm aware, Mr. Hanson, I don't believe there was any calls for services, to my knowledge.
I don't think there's very many that we get with 0 calls, but I think this one had 0 calls from them. So,
Yeah.
anybody have any questions?
No, sir.
All right, if there's no questions, then I look for somebody to do a motion.
I move to approve number 14 as written.
Second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. That motion carries. Item 15, ordinance number 18-19. An ordinance of the mayor and the city council of the city of Coolidge, Arizona, extending and increasing the corporate city limits of the city of Coolidge, Pinal County, state of Arizona, pursuant to the provisions of Title IX, Chapter 4, Article 7, Arizona Revised Statutes and amendments thereto, by annexing thereto certain territory contiguous to the existing city limits of the city of Coolidge, consisting of 323 acres more or less, and located within sections 26, 27, and 35, Township 6 South, Range 8 East of the Gila and Salt River Basin Meridian, Pinal County, known as the PLH Steel Annexation, and authorizing initial zoning of the agricultural for AG for said territory.
Mayor Thompson, Vice Mayor Henry, council members, again, this is the steel annexation, as you mentioned, and there was a public hearing for 2318 that was done, and a blank petition was recorded with the county as required. We do have the signatures. It includes mostly property owned by the city of Mesa, which is under contract to be purchased by Pinal Land Holdings. There were two other property owners that went ahead and signed and are included. One that didn't sign, it usually never does, CenturyLink, their utility, but they're still there. So we have enough signatures to annex this property into the city. And so we recommend the mayor and council approve the PLH steel annexation, and brings in about 323 acres into the city limits. And I'll answer any questions you may have.
We went through the public hearing and all that, Gil. I don't see a map, but this is just kind of closing it. This isn't extending the boundaries. This is closing them in more or less.
It is. It's right up against our city limits already, and we're required as part of the development agreement to annex property that belongs to Mesa that's being brought into the city out of the big Pinal Land Holdings property purchase for the water farm, the Mesa Water Farm. So this is part of that.
Okay. Any questions?
No, sir.
All right. If there are no questions, Norma. Oh, wait a minute. We need a motion. Need a motion.
Make a motion that we approve consent agenda item 15 as read. Second.
A motion and a second. All right, Norma.
Vice Mayor Henry,
Yes.
Councilmember Marsh,
Yes.
Councilmember Murrieta,
Yes.
Councilmember Walker,
Yes.
Councilmember Hudson,
Yes.
Councilmember Huddleston,
Yes.
and Mayor Thompson.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. We'll move into the report from the mayor and council, and we'll start down here with Councilman Walker.
I have nothing, Mayor.
Mayor, I just want to wish the citizens of Coolidge and the employees of the city of Coolidge a happy Thanksgiving.
Tatiana?
I have nothing.
I attended the fly-in first Saturday of the month. Those are always great. Everybody needs to go out to the fly-in. They're so much fun. They bring old cars and motorcycles and some great planes out there. You need to go to the fly-in. Attended the Veterans Day Parade. That was good. Good turnout for it. Like to see more people with that, but it was a good turnout for the Veterans Day Parade. Thanks to all of our veterans. Chief, thank you. Chief, thank you. Also, Rick, if you would convey my thanks to Public Works, too. They do such a good job around here, and they don't get thanks from me. I know other people thank them, but I try to at least extend a hand to them. That's it.
I attended the breakfast with the mayor, and I also attended the American Legion Hoedown. They had a moneymaker to help replace their roof. Their roof. Anyway, it was a lot of fun. And I would also like to thank all departments of the city.
Thank you. Mr. Miller?
Much to report, Mayor. We spent most of our day spending the day visiting with another industrial prospect that's interested in locating their business in the Coolidge area. We're one of several sites that we're hopeful that we'll see some more of this activity. Since the Nicola announcement, we've had a number of people, call and inquire about Coolidge, and we have a bright future when it comes to, I think, economic development. Compliment Gilbert Lopez and the efforts that he is undertaking to kind of work with a lot of these businesses, with the Arizona Commerce Authority, with Pinal Land Holdings, St. Holdings, Jacob Anderson and his group. It's been pretty exciting working with these industries and businesses that are entertaining Coolidge as a possible site to do business. That's it, Mayor.
It was an interesting day.
It was.
Since our last meeting, I've attended the Arizona Rural Transportation Summit, where we get a chance to talk to the legislators and some of the people from ADOT, which I thought we scored a few points up there. The Chamber of Commerce awards ceremony, the mayor's breakfast, the walk for Relay for Life, where I had to work twice as hard, and I'm not going to mention any reasons why. The fly-in, I met with the Pony Express, who came to Coolidge at 9:30 Saturday morning, and I was in the Veterans Day Parade, and those are just some of the activities since the last meeting. So, if nobody has anything further, I'd look for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right. There's a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. We're adjourned. Thank you, everybody.